Hey guys, Rccrush here. I'm Adrian, and we're here in the Rccrush studio, which we will be doing a tour around because we just organized it. We just made the official studio of Rccrush, but that's going to be in a later video. Today, I actually have the Traxxas Slash two-wheel drive. This is the Slash I brought to Poland with me. If you guys checked out those videos that I made, and while I was in Poland, what happened was I actually fried the motor. And this motor isn't that hard to fry. If you just go in some deep mud, it's done. So I went out and purchased another one of the Titan 12T motors. So it's the same one, the stock one. So this video is just going to be how to replace it, so how to take out the old one and how to install the new one. So what you first want to do is you want to take off the back tire, which I already did. It's not that hard, you just need the hex. And then what you're going to have to do is take off the spur and the pinion gear cover. And if you guys are wondering why I'm using a flathead, it's because I actually lost one of the screws that went into this. So I kind of had to make my own screw while I was in Poland. So I just have a flathead. But it works. So that's all that matters. So once, and there's one more screw that goes on the bottom, but I already took that off just to make this go a little bit faster. And make sure you keep your screws all in the same places, so I have this little container right here. So after that's done, you have the spur and the pinion gear. And the next thing you're going to have to take off is the pinion. You're not going to be touching the spur gear at all while you're taking this off. And actually the flathead again, because I actually lost the set screw to the pinion. And it's really hard to take off, because it likes to move a lot with the spur. But you just need to loosen it just a little bit so the screw actually stays in, and then you just kind of drop it in your little container. Then the motor, oh, and then there's one more screw, I forgot about that, right down here. And this is actually a really important screw because it's the screw that's going to really set up how you place your pinion and your spur gear once you add the new motor. So the screw goes in here. Now the motor is free, and it's just connected to these two wires that connect to the ESC. So all you're going to do is you're going to pull on them a little bit. Oh, pull on a little too much. There we go. And now both of them come off, and it's pretty easy. So this is the old one, and this is the new one. So they're basically the exact same. So the old one I'm just going to set aside. And I actually pulled off a little bit too much on this black area, so I'm going to try to get this back on. That's alright. So you have your new motor here. You're going to connect the black to the black and the yellow and the red to the red. I don't know why I said yellow. Just like that. Make sure it's nice and snug. Nice and snug in there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place it back right in here. And now you're going to need the pinion again. So you're going to get your pinion gear. So I can grab it. There we go. You're going to place your pinion. Now here's where you have to match up the gear mesh. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get a little strip of paper. And basically you put that in between the two gears, and it tells you, to make, and it like shows you if all the gears are touching, so that way it's perfectly lined up. So you just get a little strip of paper, put it in between, and then just spin it.
It has to crimple the paper.
And it has to crimple the paper.
Not
like,
rip it.
Crimple, like, not like rip it, just crimple it so that it's a little rough.
Just show them.
Yeah, Nathan's gonna help me out here. Also, I apologize for the loud noise in the back. The studio is right by the furnace, so we haven't gotten a microphone for the camera, but once we do, you're not going to be able to hear that in the background anymore. So, Nathan's cutting up a little piece of paper.
You don't need to do this, but it's the correct way to do it. Also, there's another way to do it where you just... Oh, you don't have any screws. You wear the screws from the motor.
Right here.
Pop those in real quick, so it's like, but it can still slide out.
So first you're gonna have to line up where where the screw goes in, because to the motor there's actually little holes. So I'm actually gonna have to look where this is really quick. Just 1 second. Oh, I know what the problem is. There's a random. See, because the motor's metallic, so there's actually a screw that was connected to it. So that's what was going on there. Okay. So now I just gotta find the hole. There it is. So now you get the screw that you took out earlier. Place it in there. You kind of just screw it in with your hands really quick. I just can't really find it. Oh, and now the furnace decides to go down. And I actually said this right before the video. I bet you when I'm like halfway or at the end of the video, the furnace is gonna stop going. And it did. There we go.
Charger's gonna shut off soon. Just hold on.
Okay, so now we got it in there just a little bit. Not too tight so you can still move it around. And then we're gonna get that pinion on there. And the strip of paper. Actually, hold on. I'm actually gonna screw that screw in just so the motor stays in place. You don't want it moving around, because if you have it in one area, then that's the way we want it. So nice and tight. And now we're gonna get the strip of paper. Let me just make sure the camera's adjusted.
You got it? Or me to do it?
I got it.
There's 2 ways you can do it. You can either test the strip of paper, or you can just eyeball, and there should be a little bit of play. Before you do that, you want to tighten up the motor so you can know where it is or not.
So you're just gonna try to get it right in there. And just like that, you just. And once it's fully through, you can see that it's crimped. Is that good?
No. How do you, where's autofocus?
Right here. Focus?
Nope.
Hold on.
I'll hold it.
You hold it.
Technical
Just so people
difficulties.
can see. Move it back a little. Just look. See, this is why we need a new camera.
Oh,
Not
you
really-
just got this camera.
Not that. It just doesn't. It never focuses. I don't know why. It's crimped. You can kind of see it there. Okay. So basically, the paper is crimped now, and once you do that, now you know that it's lined up. The gears are lined up. The mesh.
Not like lined up. You just have to see how tight it should be.
Right.
Because you line them up by eye.
So now they're nice and tight. That's the way you want them. So you just slide that piece of paper through. You spin the gears, and you just it's gonna be like a rough feeling. So once you get that, you know that it's nice and tight. Then you're gonna screw down your pinion, or not your your pinion. So you screw the set screw in. Just want to make sure it's lined up, centered. There we go. So now you just screw your set screw in. Make sure that's tight, because you don't want that falling off, because that happens a lot to me.
It happened during one of my races.
Actually, you know what? I'm still going to have to adjust this just a little bit, because since I'm using a new screw, it's actually hitting the spur gear. So there we go.
AKA, don't lose your set screw.
That's the moral of the story. Don't lose your set screw.
I have an extra one if you need it.
Nah, this is good. Okay, so now it's nice and clear. It's moving nicely. So now all you have to do is make sure you don't lose your other parts. You get the spur and pinion gear cover. I lost the name for it for a second there.
Just call it gear cover.
Gear cover, whatever you want to call it. And I just gotta get the screws out. There we go. So you just place it on top. screw both of them in. Make sure this is also nice and tight, and make sure you have all the screws in, because you don't want dirt or anything getting into the gears, because if it gets wet inside, the pinion gear is metal, so that will get rusty. The spur gear is plastic, so that doesn't get rusty, but you don't want the pinion to get rusty, and you don't want dirt or anything to get in there as well, because that can interfere with it, and it can jam your gears. Because my friend actually got a little branch stuck in there, and because the gears were stuck, he tried going full throttle, and his axle snapped, and it was just bad. Yeah, Adam. And oh, there's still one more screw. This one's all the way down here. It's kind of hard. The reason why you got to take off the wheel so you can actually get this screw in there. It likes to be a little pain, but we got it in. Now we just screw it in. Nice and snug. There we go. And now you just replace the new motor and your car's ready to go. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this helped you guys how to replace the motor. And please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, comment below. This is Rccrush signing off.